Good morning, guys. It's Friday. Yay, we have a 3-day weekend coming up. Let me get to where we need to be. All right, so yesterday, hopefully, you read through some of those origin stories or myths, and you did the compare and contrast T-chart. Hopefully, you got a chance to watch the video on the 25 mythical creatures, so you have kind of an idea of what you might create. Okay, so let's get started. This is just going to take a few minutes. And then you'll be free to do what you need to do. All right, so you're going to have to create your own origin story or myth, and it could be about anything you want. But sometimes, if you don't have something to go on, it might be kind of difficult to come up with something. So I included these 20 questions. So if you have no idea completely, then maybe you can kind of read through some of these. Like, for instance, you can write a myth to explain why birds fly or fish swim. Explain where humans came from or how are we made? Why do volcanoes erupt? Where did bees get their stingers? Any sort of question about the world and the environment and people can be the basis of your myth, okay? And if you don't want to do something like that, then I would recommend that you could choose your favorite animal, okay? So if your favorite animal is a lion, you would have to come up with a story as to how the lion came to be. How are they, not necessarily how they were created, but what was their origin stories? Okay. Or a bird, a specific type of bird, alligator, giraffe, duck, bull, whatever it is. So you have some options. But I do want you to be creative. Anything goes. Like if you want to write this crazy story, that's fine with me. Keep it somewhat appropriate. I'm the only one that's going to be reading these, but I do want you to have fun with it. I don't want you to stifle your creativity. It has to be at least one page long. And of course, for you guys, most of you guys are going to type it. I don't want big letter types and these big spacings. So just like you would do for your English class, the font size should be probably 12. And you just keep it to like single space. Okay. And then you can do the double space between paragraphs. So let me get out of this. So you can choose an animal, or maybe you want to create a person. That's fine too. Or any sort of questions like this, right? Okay. So let me get out of here and let me show you your origin story document. Now, this is kind of like a rough draft. This is just a document to kind of help you kind of formulate some ideas. When you write your myth, you're probably going to start with a new Google Doc, okay? But where I say, okay, so one page, type, be creative, have fun, yada, yada, yada. So I want you to think about what's the purpose of your myth. Is it to honor a person, place, or a thing? Is your myth going to be explaining a natural or environmental phenomenon like tsunamis or hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, these sorts of things? Is your origin story or myth supposed to teach a lesson? Is your myth going to strike fear into young children? Like if you're a bad kid, you're going to get eaten by this certain creature. Or is it to kind of show how you're supposed to behave? For instance, the Christian Bible, there's great stories in that book if you've ever read it. But a lot of those stories are supposed to show you kind of what you're supposed to do or what you're not supposed to do. So myths and origin stories can have that kind of spin on it. For step 2, I want you to think about who your main character is. Is it a real person or is it an imaginary person or is it your favorite animal? So who's the center? Okay. And then 3, what is the setting of your myth? Now, your setting can be anywhere. If you're going to write an origin story about a particular type of, extraterrestrial or alien, maybe your setting is a different planet other than Earth. Or maybe you're going to write the origin story of a mermaid, and so your setting might be one of the oceans, or whatever body of water you choose. So make sure your setting is kind of matching, pick a spot in the world, right, where this takes place. Okay. I want you to write. I want you to kind of take us on an adventure. When you open up your new document, on the heading, you should have the title of your story. And typically it's, you know, you can create names, you can make up any title you want, okay? And then you can always start your story with once upon a time or a long, long time ago. You don't have to use this, but I just put it there. Sometimes it's hard to start. So let me clarify. You are not using this document to write your story. You can definitely use it if you're jotting down ideas. But if you're just doing a rough draft, I recommend that you do it on paper. You can do a mind map where you have, like the elephant in the center, and then you draw lines, and then you piece the story together. And then when you're ready, you open up the Google document or you open up a new Google document and write your story. Okay. I'll be looking at these over the weekend. So please take it seriously. This and what you did yesterday is going to be combined for 60%. So it's going to be your first major grade. For those who don't do it, your grade's going to take a huge hit. Okay. So please take it seriously. If you submit a story over the weekend and you want me to kind of look at it to see if it's okay, I'll be more than happy to do that. And obviously, if you don't like your grade, like let's say you submit one today or tomorrow and you don't like your grade, then I can give you some pointers on what you can do to make it better, and I will bump the grade. So this assignment will be due Tuesday. It's going to be due Tuesday because we have a 3-day weekend. And so please take it seriously. You're more than welcome to do research and read different myths and origin stories, but please do not copy somebody else's story. I will know if you've done that. So please just kind of do your own work. I want to see what your thoughts are and your ideas are. So go crazy with it. Thank you.